So the way that I do it is, well, like how I go about doing it. Let's say tonight you're doing deadlifts up to 275. We're starting light. We'll get there. Okay, so if you're going to do 275 for five, figure out what 50% of, let's just say 300 for the sake of math. So if you're going up to 300, you're going to do sets of five up to 150. Once you hit 150, you're going to do single, 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 single to 315 or 300. Then once you hit 300, you're going to pull it for five. And then, but if you need more warm-up sets, you can jump from like 135, 145, 155, 165, or whatever, like doing sets of five, and then you can make bigger jumps when you get your singles, or you can even do sets of three going closer to your top set, and then drop it down, like maybe your last set or last one or two warm-up sets, drop it down to one rep. So I'll do like 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, top set. Well, if the weight's lighter or heavier, you can kind of play with it. It's not like set in stone. So like the way I like to do it, like I said, is I like to warm up with fives at the 50%, but if I feel like I need more, I'll keep doing sets of five or sets of three, and then I will make smaller jumps. So like in the beginning, if my knees or my hips are achy, or if they kind of feel like they need a little bit more, like I said, just for the sake of math, 300, I'll start with like 95, 5, 105, 5, 115, 5, 125, 5, 135, 5. Okay, I'm feeling loose now. My blood's circulating. My knees feel good. Now let me start making bigger jumps. Like the weight you jump and the amount of weight you jump and the amount of times you do it, that's solely based on how your night's going for your workout. So if you need more, take more. If the grease is hot, cook. You don't need as many warm-ups, don't take as many warm-ups. So it can be as fast as you want or as long as you want for your main movement, which is going to be deadlifts for you tonight and squats for me. So that's how I go about doing that. But like I said, starting with 275, like I said, you should get there pretty quick, because like tonight my squat is going to be 185 for my heavy night. No, 240 for my heavy night. But it's been a while. So actually, I'm going to take you guys through my stretching routine real quick.
Real quick too.
Yeah.
So deadlifts for me is going to be my heavy night, and then squats going to be my light night. So when it goes to squats, it's the same. It's not the same, right? You're just doing sets on squats. Like the secondary movement, you're just doing straight sets.
No, okay, so there's one or two ways to program this. I like both ways. It just depends on what you want, but whatever you decide, stick with it. So, like, if you start with deadlifts heavy, when you get done with all your deadlift work, you're gonna move to squats, and when you do squats, it's gonna be your light night. So you're gonna warm up with sets of five to your top set, and you can either do 3 sets of five with your top weight. So let's say you're working up to 185, so you can do sets of five all the way up to 185. Then once you hit 185, you'll do 3 sets of 5 reps with 185. Or you can warm up to 185, then once you hit 185, you do it for as many reps as you possibly can, maybe 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. And I don't mean like reps in reserve, I mean like literally like, like, okay, I got maybe 1 or 2 more reps left in me, my back's tight, my hips are tight, my knees are tight, I'm good there. Like otherwise, if you can do 15, stop at like 11 or 12. If you can do 20, stop at like 16, 17, 18, and then rack it, because the goal is to continuously move up in reps every single week. If you do that style, if you do the other style, you're going to program the numbers, which it's programmed up there like for the 3 sets by 5. So you can either do 3 by 5 or you can do as many reps as possible. I preferably like the as many reps as possible method, but you could do, I've done both, and honestly, I've seen similar results for both. But the one I prefer is that as many reps as possible, just shy maybe 3 to 4 reps of failure. And failure is so vague. For me, failure is like if you can't stand back up, you hit failure. So if you're like, that's failure. Not like, I hit neurological muscle failure. None of that BS. Or like, well, I can still sit down slowly, so it's not quite failure yet. Just if you can't stand back up, you did too much. If you can't come up with it, you did too much. You should at least be able to finish that last rep, and then that's that. But I always like to keep it shy of failure, a couple reps, just because like, you don't want to hit that wall and then next training session, you're fried. So you don't want to do that. Plus, when you do squats, it's going to be really light. So it'll be better to go high volume anyways. Or with the deadlifts or however you want to do it, stuff like that. Like I said, I like the many reps as possible. Is that it? You need?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to take you guys through my warm-ups. Some people say don't do any kind of stretching because you'll lose your stretch reflex. In case y'all haven't caught on, we're doing powerlifting. So like I said, a lot of people say don't stretch before your lifts. because you want your muscles as tight as possible, because you want as much stretch reflex as you can get out of your lifts, well, out of your muscles. But I found that if I don't stretch before I do these movements, my knees and hips and back kind of bother me. And I'd rather lose a little bit of stretch reflex and have a more comfortable workout and experience versus trying to power through achiness. Now with doing lighter weights and stuff, you can warm up on the weight. You don't have, this isn't a warm up. Okay, this is a stretch. Let me be very clear about that. These are not warm up movements right here. This is just me trying to get my muscles limbered and my joints kind of like pretty much lined up a little bit better for what I'm about to do. And I warm up on the weights themselves. I like to warm up on the movement. I'll do a set of leg extensions or leg curls, maybe 2 or 3 sets of those just to kind of get some light movement in. And then I actually start warming up on the lift itself. Also, with this stretch here, I like to, I count my head normally about to 10, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that pace. And then if you've never grabbed the outside of your knee and twisted over and then leaned, that's a completely different experience on this stretch, and it goes up the IT band into the glute medius, and that feels absolutely amazing. So I do that for the equal amount of time, and then I'll open up the hip, and I'll drop the hip down and lean, and this gets from the inside of the teardrop all the way up into the groin area. Same thing. So I like to stretch this in 3 different planes of motion. I just feel like it really gets you ready to like kind of like open up the hips when you're doing squats or whatever. I do this for deadlifts too. And normally, like I said, I'll count my head, but because I'm recording right now, I'm not going to count on my head. I'm just going to try to hope to shoot for the roughly the same amount of time per stretch. And I'm not trying to get no like deep stretch, like as if I'm doing yoga. And I'm trying to do like some deep methodical stretch because I'm just trying to get the muscles lengthened a little bit and the joints kind of moved around. So you don't have to go like in a long, huge static position for a very long time. We're just kind of taking it through there, through the motions. And then I'll do this 2 times through. I'll do this whole entire stretch routine right here 2 times through. And then this one right here, I don't know if the camera's picking me up. Let me make sure. I'll angle this down. Okay, so for this one right here, I like to put my elbows on the inside of my knees, push out, and really stretch that down there in the bottom. And then once I get this to kind of like feel a little bit comfortable, I'll lean over to one side real aggressively and get that ankle flexion going. And then I'll go to the other side, get that ankle flexion going. And then I'll sit back, posture up, spread the groin, and hold that for a little bit, and then come back out of it. Now I do this 2 times through. After I do this next part right here, I'm gonna show you all this. I'm gonna take you all on a journey. This right here isn't really necessary for lower body days, but I still do this just because I feel like there's a lot of benefit to it. What I'll do here is, this is, 30 will be good. We're gonna pull this about 20 times. Just kind of do some face pulls here, warm up the shoulders, warm up the scapula, get the neck kind of pumped up a little bit, get the traps pumped up a little bit because I'm gonna have a bar sitting on my back. So the more blood and the more meaty I can get this area, the more comfortable it's gonna be while I lift. And then also it's gonna be easier to get your hands in a position and your shoulders in a position. Now I'm squatting on a box and I'm doing safety bar squats. So it's not gonna be an actual barbell squat and a free squat either, because I'm just not there yet in my training. I'm gonna power lift and do my powerlifting routine with the variant on the squats and the bench for the next 10 to 12 weeks and just kind of see where this takes me, just because of I kind of want to get back into powerlifting a little bit more than what I have been. I just feel better about training like that, but I'm gonna really ease my way back into it and just kind of let my body tell me what's going on and what's working, what's not working, and if I need to make any adjustments or any variables or anything like that. So that's not gonna be full on, like actual like powerlifting like I would do back in the day. And then again, none of this is needed. You don't have to do none of this if you don't want to. But I like to do this type of stuff right here because of it just opens everything up. It gets the blood going and the joints moving. Now I want to be honest about something. I've already done that stretch and that before, so that's my second time through. I started recording after the fact, so. All right. Let me see if I can get this over here. Ooh. Hopefully the mic's picking up like it's supposed to be, because sometimes it doesn't. I'll be upset if it's not. It is what it is. Do what? I try to order some new knee sleeves off of Elite FTS because I really like that company. And I like Dave Tate a whole lot. But for some reason, the ones that I try to order, the website will not let the purchase go through. So I'm gonna try again in a couple weeks, like a week or two, and try again, see if it goes through. These are just traditional knee sleeves. These are like neoprene, or not neoprene, I don't know, like some spongy material. Nothing really crazy, but I wanted to get some 9mm heavy ones that were for like competition style, just to kind of like get my my knees protected. What am I supposed to be doing again tonight?
240.
Okay, yeah, 240. All right, I'm gonna start really light. It has been a long time. This has been a very long time since I've done anything north of 225 on a squat, let alone a box squat or safety bar, anything of the sort. I have gotten very weak, man. I was 218 as of Saturday. So this is the lightest I've been in a while as far as it goes. Well, let me put it this way, not the lightest I've been in a while, but this is the lightest I have been with the attempt to do a powerlifting routine. Because normally whenever I'm powerlifting, I've always been in the 250s plus. So this is gonna be the lightest I've ever been trying to do this. So this is all gonna be like body weight PRs, like lifting weights with a not a weight PR, but like a body weight, if that makes sense. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And if y'all don't, well then figure it out. Also, I need to figure out my groove for my weight, because my body weight's different, like my gut, and it's not like it used to be. So like, I need to figure out like the new groove in my body and my style, because you know, I've done both low bar and high bar squatting, but you know, after I hurt my my groin, I tore it, I wasn't able to low bar squat no more. So I had to switch to high bar. So I kind of need to decide, like, do I want to do like a low bar? Do I want to do a high bar, or do I kind of want to do like an in-betweener for this? I need to figure out what my,
Hybrid
Yeah, like a hybrid stance, you know. I don't know if you just call that a regular stance. I don't know, but like, I know I need to figure out what my stance style is going to be, because like if I do start getting serious about this and want to kind of like bring the loads up higher, I gotta have a you know, I gotta get my technique down perfectly and stuff.
Full wide, 1 foot under.
Yeah, this works on the hip flexor adductor.
One sets this way, one sets this way.
This is my strong leg.
You're on something.
Yeah, start a whole new division. The split squat. So I feel like I need to bring my feet in. You know, and the thing too is whenever I'm doing these, the whole goal is to make your very last set and your very last rep look like your very first rep and your very first set. Like, the whole thing is like I'm trying to do every single rep like picture perfect. And you know, a lot of people where they mess up on these is they sit down on the box. Like, you're not supposed to sit on the box when you do these. Like, you touch the box, but you never let loose. Like, you hold your tightness and your tension when you're down there. You don't just like relax. You hold tight. You keep everything tight, because the whole concept is you're trying to take the stretch reflex 100% out of the movement and just be like purely like all muscle engagement and everything. But in order to do that, you have to keep everything tight. It's also a lot more fatiguing and a lot harder doing that, but
I tend to slouch.
yeah.
When I sit down and urge, I'll go down. Since I'm down, a lot of the times I get down and and then when I come back up, I kind of do like a little rock and roll thing.
Yeah, you use a little bit of momentum off the box, like a little pitch forward to get off the box again. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring my feet in a little bit and try to do this position here. I've always been a better high bar squatter anyways, because I have short femurs and a long torso. So it's just better for me to high bar than it is to low bar. Plus, high bars, they've always felt like more like natural to me. You know, don't get me wrong, I know I'm squatting really high too on this box with a high bar. If I was doing low bar, this box would look a lot lower if I was doing like a wide stance.
Yeah.
But since I'm going high, a high bar, it definitely looks like the box is a lot taller than what it actually is. But it's okay, because like I said, well, you know this, but you guys may not. I hurt my knee last October, so it's been like a year, right under a year since I hurt my knee. I hyperextended it and it popped, and it's been bothering me for months, and it just hasn't felt the same. So squatting and everything else has kind of been off the table. So it's just recently getting to the point where I feel like it's finally like healed up enough to start actually putting some work in. And I don't know if it's like labrum or ACL or connective tissue. I don't know what it is that popped, and it was not fun. It's gonna be my last set of 5 on that one. I'm gonna start doing the singles. It's always disheartening too, man, like knowing where I was on strength to like where I am now, like and it could be discouraging and a little depressing if I really honestly think about like how much I used to lift versus what I lift now and how like weak I became. But the goal changed when I got hurt. You know, depression kicked in for what, better part of a year and a half. I was like really like depressed over it and kind of not, I wasn't all like boo-hoo, but like just working out just depressed me in general. That's why I stayed out of the gym for so long. But then I transitioned to bodybuilding and it became kind of fun again. But now I'm just like, just want to be strong again. Strong, you know. Is that your top? Oh no, you're going 275, that's right. Yeah, I lost 3 pounds last week from the week before. It's a pretty big jump. It's a pretty big loss in weight, 3 pounds. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm on the right track as far as it goes for leaning out. That's another thing too, man. Like, I know my strength isn't going to be rising like it should be because I'm intermittent fasting and I'm only on 2,500 calories a day. So I know my body weight's coming down. So my strength isn't, I'm lifting so light that like I can continuously get stronger as I'm cutting weight and getting like lighter. But I know eventually that fatigue and exhaustion is going to meet that strength curve and something's going to have to break. You know, either the percentages are going to have to go down or the food's going to have to go up, and that way I can restack the peak. But I'm going to see how far I can get with eating like this first, because like I said, I want my 6-pack. I just think it'll look cool. Even if I decide to power lift and I do decide let me go to a meet and just for funsies, it'll still be cool to have abs doing that, because I've never competed with abs. You know, I still want to bodybuild, don't get me wrong, but if I can step on the platform and power lift with a 6-pack, and then it would be a easy transition to be like, okay, I bulked for the powerlifting meet for 12 weeks. Now let me cut for 12 weeks and compete in bodybuilding. And it wouldn't be a hard transition. All right, now let me bulk for 16 weeks for a powerlifting meet, and now let me cut for 16 weeks for a bodybuilder. So it would be something goal driven. So instead of being like, I'm in the off season of powerlifting and it's boring and I'm just doing the same monotonous lifts, like, no, I'm cutting for, it would give me something to, I know I'm never going to be a strong powerlifter again. I'm not going to try to be, but for my weight, the weight that I would be, it would just be fun to see the numbers I could put up, especially with my torn pec. I just honestly want to get back to 200, a 225 bench again. I honestly just want to, with a close grip 225, I'll be happy. I can live with that. I mean, I have no other choice, right? It's not like, all right, reset.
You just got full 700, squat 300, and then 225 bench would be 1200.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad total. I even, like I told you earlier, I thought about like buying a squat suit and a deadlift suit because I never use them. I've used briefs, right? I got the briefs, and it's fun squatting in those because it protects your hips. So you can kind of overload and go heavier, and it protects you because you sit, it's like sitting down on a box, right? As the further you go, the tighter it gets, and it stops you. So it's kind of cool. It's just like, man, I've always wanted to deadlift 700. Even if I have to use a suit, I mean, it's still 700, right? I don't care if you put an Astra Spider or not. I mean, I still had to hold on to it, right? I still had to get it off the floor. I had to get it moving, suit or not. You're not moving 700 pounds with minimal effort, suit or not. But I have to get my weight steady though. That's the thing, because like with a suit, I have to get and that's where a powerlifting team comes in, because when you're equipped lifting, it's better to have a crew there because they can help you put your suit on and move and you can work together. So it's just easier if I had like a team to help me, you know?
Baby oil.
Yeah, well, baby powder, not oil. You want baby powder. Your next jump should be 275. That should be your top set. And dead stop on them. Don't tap and go. On these, you dead stop. At every set, every rep, stop, reset, pull, bam, reset, pull. Don't just go through it. It's a good set. This is my top set right here, 25, 25. $240 for 5. Now I'll be honest, I got a lot of doubt right now in my head I'm gonna do this. I'm like, I don't know if I'm able to hit this for all 5, but yeah. It's just not doing this for such a long time, man, and then coming back into it. It's like, in the world of powerlifting, even bodybuilding, 225 is, especially on squats, it's like, that's entry weight. But to the normal person, put anybody off the street, Walmart, Target, anywhere. Go anywhere and grab anybody off the street and put them under 225 and see what they do. So it's just like, it's not a weight to be embarrassed of, or it's a weight to actually be proud of, but in my mind, I'm just kind of like, you're so weak and bet I fall. But it's a different world, you know, it's a different world. Lightweight, baby, lightweight, lightweight. Yeah, that feels good. Feels grounded. Man, that proper bracing, man. Yeah. Yeah, it felt good, man. I could feel it. I can tell my lower back is definitely weak out of that movement right there. Everything that was like talking to me, I felt it down here in my lumbar, right across the low back. And it's not that like it was a bad feeling, like, oh, my spine. I just felt the fatigue and the pressure in my lower back. I felt the pressure in the lower back, and I felt the fatigue in the low back. So, yeah, I have a long torso, so it's easy for my low back to fatigue. So that was the biggest issue when I did low bar squats, because when I low bar squats, I pitched forward so much, I put all that stress in my lower back. Now I got my lower back really strong, but I could never low bar what I could high bar. And I got high bar what I low barred way more efficiently and easier with a more upright, because how short my femurs are. It just gives me the mechanical advantage to be a better high bar squatter over low bar squatter, but I still have to be careful with it, because like, I got to build my back up. I just got to get my back to where it used to be, because I know out of everything that my abs and my low back is going to be my biggest Achilles heel for powerlifting. I know that from back in the day. That's why I got up to 270, 290. I wanted that big belly, because when you're down here and that gut sitting on your legs, it's like, I can hang out down here because it's supporting me. But now that I don't have that gut, it feels all in here instead of in like the hips or the quads or whatever. So I know that's going to be a huge thing I'm going to have to work on. Massive eye opener, like because like I said, like there's the thing about powerlifting, man. Like it was always about like being the absolute unit, whether you're like fat or not. Because it's like, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to create the absolute best mechanical leverage for my frame to lift the absolute most amount of weight. In order to do that, you got to get bigger. And the easiest way to get big is to get fat. Like, yeah, putting on muscle is cool, but I could put on fat a lot faster, and it's going to fill in all those little areas. And it's going to give me something to rest against or to brace against. And then when you have a belt and you have all that Play-Doh, man, and that belt just mushes you in half, all that pressure goes outward. It goes inward and outward. So like it makes you like a stiff board with a belt. But being thinner, there's still a lot of like flexion. So it's just kind of like, man, that's definitely going to be like the biggest issue I have when it comes to this. And then I don't know how long until I start putting my belt back on, but I'm going to wait a while, because these weights are like no reason to put a belt on right now. No reason at all. Huh?
There's never really tried one.
It's a learning curve if you put it on right. So
I've put one on once or twice ever, but it's never really like a comfortable thing, so I always just lifted with that.
well, the thing with the belt, it's like it's a learning curve. So I used to put them down low, and it pinched my fat between my pelvis, and it hurt real bad, and it never felt right. So then I put it up right under my sternum, and it felt better, but I cranked it down so tight I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't breathe in, and breathing in and bracing is incredibly important. So if you put it too tight, it could be, so there's a learning curve to it, and then learning how to flex your lats into it and push your stomach, but once you figure it out, man, it's like, man, I just like got 50 points of strength off of that, plus 50 strength, belt of strength or whatever. But like Dragon Ball Z, power level 5,000. Okay, we got a bunch of assistant works next. I'm not going to show all that footage. I'm just going to show the main lifts and our talking and working out and BSing. We're just going to be Monday, Wednesday, possibly Friday. And because like I said, now we have about 2.5 hours worth of like accessory work, and I'm not going to put all that on footage. It's going to take way too long to record all that, and it's just going to be way too distracting because now I have to time my sets. When we're doing this, we don't time our sets. We just go however long it needs to be. And then once this is done, now it's like comes to like time management, like 1 to 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, 1 to 2. And I can't talk and catch my breath and time my sets and record and do all that. So if you guys want to know what we're doing for the whole entire workout, tune in to the Sunday podcast and we talk about all of it, everything we're doing on Sunday, we throw it all out there. So tune into that and check it out. We'll see you guys next time.